Katie, that made it all happen.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you also for supporting Miss Duco as well as Top Rank. But can I say, it just doesn't get better than this. You know, when we first decided to back this fight at the beginning of the year, you know, we had people that were knocking us, but we had the view that this would be a world-class event, and that's absolutely been delivered here today by the two amazing fighters that were out there. And can I say that, you know, we've got a real Queenslander in Jeff Horn, and our hometown boy, Jeff Horn, has now put Brisbane on the map. And I also want to acknowledge Manny Pacquiao. He is an absolute class act, an absolute amazing boxer, and to have him play here in Brisbane in front of the loudest crowd that Manny Pacquiao has ever played in front of is amazing. So, you know, we've delivered that here in Brisbane. I want to thank everybody in our local community that has got behind this. It looks like we might have to stump up for a rematch too.
well, wait a second. You know, we have provisions about a rematch and so forth, but Kate tells me that she's running for office again in what, November?
January.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be in the contract that she's got to be elected or re-elected. Or else we're not coming.
I'll take it, Bob. But no, in all seriousness, you know, we've seen magic here today. It really doesn't get better than this, and I really want to pay tribute to both Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. As I said, Jeff Horn is a Brisbane boy, and he's put our city on the map today. So thank you.
We're talking about Brisbane. We have here the Lord Mayor who's honored us. Brandon, I'm going to give you the microphone and you can say a few words.
Well, what a day. This is personal. It's been a great event for the city and for the state, and I think for the nation. I think this is going to go down as one of the all-time great fights. You know, a new legend has been born today, and Jeff Horn has shown not only is he a great person, a very humble person, a professional person, but he's also a person who's as tough as nails, and he'll be a great diplomat for the city of Brisbane, for Queensland, and for Australia as he goes forward as a new welterweight champion of the world. And our whole family is just so proud of Jeff, and he's done a great job. That was a real slogfest today. The world got its money's worth. The Battle of Brisbane certainly lived up to its name, and it's been a real privilege for anyone that was in attendance here at this fight today. This will go down as one of the great fights.
Again, I thank Kate. I want to thank you for having confidence in us. You didn't obviously know me. You had very little.
We knew you, Bob.
I was going to say, everyone knew you.
Background with boxing, and yet you bit the bullet. And we did this event together. It turned out to be a tremendous success, and that's great. That's great for the Queensland. It's great for Brisbane. And it's great for the sport of boxing.
Well, when the thought about him possibly Manny fighting Amir Khan come up, did you get a little bit nervous?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
I didn't. I'll tell you why. When that fight was rumoured about the Abu Dhabi fight, Brisbane is a sister city with Abu Dhabi, and we have a number of close relationships with the government of Abu Dhabi. We did our own research as a city government, and we could not find any evidence that that fight was actually going to occur. So that's why we remained firm with our offer here. We remained strong that we wanted to have it here, and it came about.
And I was telling you that it wasn't going to happen because some camel drivers had gotten one of Manny's advisors and told him that he was going to do the fight in either Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and for a tremendous amount of money. I mean, you know, every time they talk about an event in the Mideast, they come up with these figures that are totally unrealistic, like these guys, because they have so much oil, can't count.
And I was going to say, we were nervous, but we also knew we'd deliver. We'd deliver the goods. I mean, Queenslanders, Australians are always going to come out to watch amazing sporting talent, and we knew that we were going to hold firm on that.
And so, what's the story with the rematch? When is this, or where do you hope for it to be?
Well, you know, I've learned from this that not to shoot off my mouth the day of a fight or for one. There is a rematch clause. And the rematch clause definitely has language that all things being okay, that it has to be in Brisbane. His first fight has to be in Brisbane. Rematch has to be in Brisbane. We're going to sit down and we're going to figure it out. Now, as far as a rematch is concerned, the question then is, I know Jeff would welcome the rematch, but I don't know Manny's future position. Is he going to stay in politics and not continue in boxing? I don't know. I mean, and he doesn't know now, and it's unfair to ask him today. I mean, let a week go by and we'll figure it out.
Can we give some figures on today's attendance and also maybe online viewers?
Okay, then.
Yeah, so in attendance today we actually broke 51,000. I understand it's around 51,052 people here today. This is the largest crowd that Manny Pacquiao has ever fought in front of.
What about pay-per-view numbers? Any idea on that?
Pay-per-view numbers, I don't think we'll know until Monday.
They were pretty happy though, I've got to say. They were pretty happy.
And we're all talking like it's a big number, but you really don't know. And it's the same as in the States. This wasn't on pay-per-view. When we do pay-per-view, they don't count the boxes on that board until Monday, and you really don't know anything until Monday night or Tuesday morning.
And the pay-per-view is in Australia
And New Zealand.
and New Zealand.
On Foxtel.
And what's the record for?
They were expecting this to be the record. That was the expectation going in.
I
Well-
think 150,000 homes on a Mundine fight.
Yeah, that's right, the total.
And what was that for football?
No, that was for the Mundine fight. Mundine's group. Yeah, Mundine versus Group.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Given the success of this event, not mentioning the rematch, but further ahead, will there be more investment in boxing as a sport from you guys?
Oh, look, I think we saw this as an event for the city, right? So, I mean, as a local authority, a city government, we invest in amateur boxing. But in terms of this, we see this as another event, right? So, if we can get a rematch of this, absolutely. But then,
No more talking.
No more
the
talking.
new world champion is here. Champion of the world. Well done. Congratulations. I didn't think he survived that round.
Sit here next to Bob.
Sit down.
Thank you.
How's it feel, Jeff? Oh, it feels amazing. I feel on cloud 9 at the moment. I feel a bit tired, a bit bruised, but I feel like a winner.
You are one.
Jeff,
Hold on, please.
congrats, mate. Look, $1 million, by the
Thanks,
way.
Phil. Cheers.
Mate, you really pressed the issue from the very moment the fight started. You were trying to guess what your game plan was, but just take us through those first couple of rounds, how you feel out there, how you got in your work, and how you just adapted to Manny.
I just felt like he couldn't get a hold of my gap, and I was feinting a lot, trying to upset his rhythm, and I think that was working throughout the majority of that fight.
Hi Jeff, how are you? You didn't seem at all overawed by the occasion. Just how did you mentally deal with such a huge crowd?
Look, I feel like I perform like much better in front of a crowd. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just wired that way. If no one's there, I usually just don't try very hard. But the more people you have in the ring, even if I'm just sparring, and it's not competitive, I still perform a lot better. I usually have a really bad last spar, but I had the whole gym was packed on the day, and I had a real good last spar. So it's just going to be 10 times better when I have 50,000 people there cheering me on.
Jeff, congratulations. Just take us through those moments. It was in the 9th round. There's probably a really tough moment in the fight. What kept you going in that
Look, that was just, I guess, my heart just kept me going. I was just like, yeah, he got me with a couple of good shots in that round, and I did go back probably more in that round than any other round in the fight, but I still felt good. A bit blurry in that right eye. I don't know if it was a head clash or it was a punch. But I came back in the 10th, 11th and 12th.
So what did...
Hold on, please.
Sorry. So what did Glenn say to you after the rocky 9th round, a little bit rocky, and 10th round?
Yep, so he let me know that we lost that round and Manny won that one, and the ref then came over and said, show me something or else I'm going to stop the fight. We're like, hey, hold on, hold your horses. We're not that bad. We can keep going for sure.
And somebody remarked that you undid the tape yourself 3 or 4 times so you could get a respite.
I don't know how to do that. It's a good magic trick if I could do that. I'm good at magic, but not that good.
A bit hard with a boxing glove on to do something like that. The referee actually asked me, do you want me to stop the fight at the end of the 9th round? And I said, no way. I know Jeff, no way. I knew that give him a minute to clear his head, he was good to go again.
Glenn, question for yourself. You came under a bit of scrutiny over the course of this week leading into the fight. How vindicated do you feel right now?
Well, we always said we would shock the world today. And I said yesterday, today would be Sunday, bloody Sunday. And I just knew, I could see in my mind's eye that this was going to be a war. And we kept saying that. We said this is going to be a war. I mean, Freddie Roach had mentioned I thought it would be an early day. And I said, no way, this fight's going to go deep. This is going to be deep, and this is going to be a test of spirit. And the 2 warriors out there, Manny fought it out right to the end. He tried his hardest, but Jeff was just a young lion, as we said. He was hungry, he was skillful. He wasn't just, people thought, oh yeah, he's just a Ricky Atten, he's just going to come in and try and bully him. We had, as you know, a 10-point plan. We stuck to that plan, we went through it carefully, what we had to do. It worked. We just had to execute well on the day. And there's nobody better that I know of that can execute a plan than Jeff Horn. He can really execute a plan. It was tough. I mean, every round I was putting adrenaline on that eye. Every round I knew if the blood started to run into his eye, we're in trouble. So I was mindful that we had to contain that. That's a pretty nasty cut. So, these things come out of left field. They try to derail you, but we weren't going to be denied today. Neither Jeff nor I were going to be denied. We come here to win. We didn't come here to put up a good fight. I know that Bob had said, even if you put up a good fight, you'll still be big in the US. Whilst I respect Bob for that, I can tell you there is no way we just come here to put up a good fight. We came here to win, and we did win.
Congratulations, Jeff Horn. Congratulations, Glenn. Can you just talk about Manny Pacquiao's speed and power?
Look, he was quick when he put the combinations together, but I felt like the gap, controlling that gap, that distance, it really made it a lot easier to see his punches coming, and I could easily just step back and dodge a few of them and then counter him with my own. So that aspect, which is just the size difference of both of us, was a big advantage.
Jeff, can you comment on a couple of things? Firstly, the 117 to 111, 1 count, 115, 113, and again 115, 113. Were you surprised by the margin of victory for you, according to the judges?
No, not really. I wasn't really surprised. I was going back to the corner, and the guys were letting me know that I was probably winning the majority of the rounds, but obviously he's champion. He's going to edge some close rounds, and I was happy that I won the fight. I'm just stoked that I won it, especially unanimously.
And 2 of the judges scored it 115 to 113, which means 7 to 5. You can't go closer than that. One fighter they gave Jeff 7 rounds. They gave Manny 5 rounds. If you change 1 round, it's a draw.
Now that you are the title holder, is defending your title overseas in your immediate plan, or you prefer to defend it in this way?
I don't know. I'd rather, I guess, if we can draw the fights over here and have them in Australia and have some big fights and make it alive over here again. Boxing. So I guess that's up to Frank and Judo events to kind of arrange and see what's worth doing, and obviously the government in Australia behind us.
But maybe down the road it'd be nice for you to fight in Las Vegas.
It's always a dream to fight in Vegas.
Jeff, do you think that now that you've won this fight, the kids at school are going to start listening to you now?
Probably not, unfortunately. No, hopefully that does earn some respect for the kids, and hopefully they listen a little bit more.
Freddie, you issued your hand wraps earlier before the fight, and you mentioned, I think, to Ben Graham that you felt you guys didn't show them enough respect during the week. What did you make of that sort of goings on pre-fight?
Well, you know, again, for some reason, Freddie, you know, didn't like the colour of the tape. You know, he said it's brown, it's got to be white. And I said, hang on, it's fabric tape. I mean, fabric tape is like fabric tape. Well, what does it matter what the colour it is? And the WBO official didn't seem to have a problem with the colour, but Freddie did. And I said, Freddie, no problem. We'll use white tape. If it's really concerning you, the colour of the tape, we'll use white tape. So he brought his tape in, and I said, okay, you happy to use that? We did use that. So, you know, I'm happy. I'm not going to let anyone derail me. You know, there's no way anyone's going to derail Jeff or I and say anything at all that will upset me. You know, we're both in the zone here. We had a job to do. So, if that's the way, I thought they were a little disrespectful when they were saying things like Justin Fortune said yesterday that the only way Manny Pacquiao could lose his fight is if he tripped on the way to the ring. That's a little disrespectful.
Well, that's because he's Aussie.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe, I don't know. I think no, Freddie has always been very good to me. I've had no problems with him, nor Manny. I think Manny's a legend. I still do. Fought his heart out today. You can never ask for more than that. Yeah, a couple of things happened. I mean, saying that they thought it would be early, I thought, no way. I've visualised this fight over in my mind many times. We've gone over the strategy. As I said, you plan the work, you work the plan. We did that to perfection. Jeff executed beautifully today, and it just went pretty much exactly how I thought it would go. Going into the 11th round, I said to Jeff, this fight's close. Either you're in front or it's 5-all. I said, either you're in front by 1 round or it's 5-all. It's close. We really need to bring it home hard here, Jeff. And I thought Jeff won the last 2 rounds. So I was confident that we had the fight. I thought we've got the fight. There's not going to be a lot in it. There'll be 1 or 2 points, couple of points, mate. You know, there won't be a lot in it. But I was really confident we'd done enough to win the fight. And thankfully the judges saw it the same way I did.
Dutico, do you have the scorecards? Dutico, you have the scorecards? Who? Paco.
I got it.
We don't have to speculate on the judges.
I think it was 215s to 113.
Yeah, right, yeah. It was a little bit wide.
I know the one judge was American. Where were the other 2 judges from?
Argentina, I'm not sure. I looked at them some time ago, but they went from the Philippines, I know that.
All right. The first judge, the one had it 117 to 113, 117 to 111. That was Roldan. He's the Argentina.
No.
Yeah.
New York.
And Flores had it
He's from Arizona.
113 to 115, and you're quite correct. He scored both the last 2 rounds for Jeff. And Ramon Cerdan had 113 and 115, but he scored the 11th round for Manny and the 12th round for Jeff. But the scores came out the same.
And where's he from?
I don't know, where is Cerdan from?
New York.
Where?
New York.
Argentina.
Cerdan is Argentina. Argentina, Roldan, New York.
Roldan is from New York?
Yeah.
And Cerdan is from Argentina.
My brother is from Arizona.
Right, yeah.
So two Americans.
So pretty well, the 2 judges saw the fight as sort of the same. And one judge had Jeff winning an extra round. 117 to 111 is 8-4.
Very good. I think that was a fair decision, by the way. How it went, I was pretty comfortable with that. And as I said, I think that guys did a great start. First 2 rounds, I thought we clearly won. We got off to a great start. We were looking good. So,
in the first 2 rounds, 2 of the judges added for Jeff both rounds, and 1 judge had the first round for Jeff and the second round for Jeff. So that's quite correct. And I thought that Jeff, watching it, had gotten off to a big lead. And then Manny came back, and then Jeff did well at the end. That's like an Ali Frazier.
Oh yes, I think this fight, I said some time ago, I thought this would become fight of the year, and people thought I was crazy, but I think it's going to be hard to build that, to beat that fight. I mean, you know, it had everything. It had accidental head clashes in there. Both fighters cut. I mean, you know, it was a great fight. And I think, as we said, when Manny fought Mayweather, it was a cat and mouse game. This was always going to be a cat and cat game. So 2 hunters out there, and what an entertaining spectacle. We knew the styles would work beautifully together, and it was going to be a great fight. And I don't think anyone left here today disappointed.
And what can you improve on?
Lots. We can keep improving. Jeff will keep evolving and improving. As I say to all of the guys at training, you're always a work in progress. So, you know, when you stop improving, I don't believe there's a status quo, because when you stop, the other guys are improving. So, relatively speaking, you fall behind. So, we can keep improving Jeff all the way. He's getting more hard.
The teachers will love this one. You've got to be a life learner.
Oh, yes, they'll love that.
Would you ever fight in the Philippines if Bob ever gave you a chance to do it over there against Pacquiao?
Yeah, possibly. Whatever happens, happens. I don't know.
Yeah, we do have a legal and also moral obligation to consider Brisbane first, right, Dean, for a rematch?
Yeah, the next question is for you, Dino. Well done, congratulations on great achievement. Can you talk us through the hard work that you put in to make this happen?
Well, look, our work was sort of finished today, to be bluntly honest, and that's what Jeff took over. And you know, he just did a stunning job on the platform for us, thanks to my co-promotional partner down there, Bob Aaron, for agreeing to have the fight down here, and of course the minister down there to my left, and the board there to my right. It's been an enormous team effort. You know, I can't take the credit for it. It's Duco, Australia, England, New Zealand come together. We had 20 people working across both sides of the Tasman to make this happen. And yeah, it's just been an enormous team effort. We'd love to do it again here in Brisbane, but I've got to be honest, I think what we should do over the next 2 or 3 days is just take us and savor it. I think it's been a benefit for everyone. Let's just have some fun before we make some decisions as to what happens next.
Yeah, I'd like to, by the way, just really thank Duke Vance and Dean Lonergan for believing in us. Okay, right from the early days. You know, I said that I had this vision with Dean. I sat down, I said, I see Jeff Horn fighting at Suncorp Stadium, and we saw this great vision for boxing and for Jeff, and I think for Duco to have two key fighters here, Joseph Parker and Jeff Horn, both world champions. I mean, wow, what an achievement is that. That's amazing. So yeah, thanks very much to, as I say, to Dean Lonergan and Duke Vance, and again, this would never have happened if it wasn't for Brisbane Marketing and Tourism Events in Queensland, Lord Mayor Graham Quirk to my right, Minister Kate Jones to my left, and they have been the backbone all the way through this and just supported us to the hilt. And I think Brisbane today stamped itself to be part of a sporting event between a legend like this and a new growing legend in Jeff Horn. What a great milestone for Brisbane to pull something like this off. So I think today, Brisbane, we showed the world.
So much for the non-partisan press.
He's not press.
All right, if we're finished with the question, the man, we have more, all right, we have 1 or 2 more, because a young man has won a world title, and in boxing, Baco, that's the pinnacle to win the world title, particularly when you defeat an outstanding legend like Manny Pacquiao. And so, a couple more questions, and then let him go on his way so he can truly celebrate with his family and his friends. He's entitled to that.
He certainly earned it, hasn't he?
Won your first world title, but I want to ask you, are you interested in unifying with Keith Thurman or Earl Spence?
Definitely. Unifying the titles eventually is what you want. You want to be #1 world champion. So if that's unifying the titles against those guys in the future, so be it.
Jeff, just quickly, can you just talk about the confidence you take from here on in having that win over Pacquiao on your record?
I take massive confidence from this fight. I believed in myself before, but now that I've done something like this, I've climbed Pacquiao Mountain, which is I like to call it, but now I've got to look at the other guys that are up there as well, which is Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. They're two targets, I guess, on the list as well. Hold up.
And do you have a preference?
Not really. I guess Keith Thurman, he's got two of them.
Yeah, but meanwhile, there's a young man who's fighting to win all 4 of the 140-pound titles and will soon be moving up to your division, and he's a real handful, and his name is Terence Crawford. Yeah, that'd be some fight.
And Mikey Garcia says he's going to be moving up.
Who?
Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, but, you know, Mikey Garcia is not Terence Crawford.
Jeff, congratulations on the victory today. You announced afterwards, or you revealed that you and your wife were expecting your first child. Did that play anything in your mind leading up to the fight to galvanize you a bit, knowing that you'd have another mouth to feed? And did that some of those tough moments in the fight?
Definitely, it plays through my mind, as in it makes me want it more. I guess I'm trying to set up my family for life, so that's a kid and my wife.
Well, this was a great first step.
Standing up. Standing up. Yeah, standing up, Jeff. Down. Yeah, one hand testing. One hand, Jeff.
Over here, man. Thanks, bro.
Just looking over here, Jeff.
Manny gave me his shoes there. Can you have your shoes too?
Here, Jeff.
Shoe in. Thanks, sir.
All the best, mate.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Boys, just hang on a sec, we'll get a few more here. You want to get to the photo?
This way. Cameras?
Fortunately. Let the other guys get some quick. You can say, put up the money, it's worth $22.
And he did all the hard work. Well done.
Appreciate it very much.
He's a world champion, mate. He's
got the world champion. Champion of the world.
He is the champion of the whole wide world. Jeff Horn, world champion.
You're not going to have a voice by the end of the night.
Brisbane, Australia.
Okay, well, away we go.
Good to see you. Hey, you've been here a long time.
Hey, thank you.
Jeff. Take it, Glenn. You guys go. We'll see you later on, eh?
Thanks, man.
Good on you, thank you. See you, mate.
We had a rematch here. We get to 55.
Congrats, man. You did the other two. You did the impossible.
But we believe you would try very hard to put it up.